The Pick 3 is back to give 3 picks against the spread in college football for week 3. And we have some making up to do for last week after me, Nick Roush, and Adam Luckett across the board went 1-2. We cost y'all a little bit of money, but it's a young season, and we will bounce back in the green today with more picks. We got a lot of stuff we like, even though it was a difficult board, a board that we checked out on MyBookie, our sponsor of the Pick 3. You can start your winning season at MyBookie with a quick and easy deposit. You can turn $250 into $500 with a double dip using promo code KSR. Just type that in when you deposit, and they will double your bonus or double your deposit up to $1,000. You can bet on that game tonight, college football all weekend, and NFL week 2 all season long over at MyBookie. And we are so thankful for them here at Pick 3. Stuttering on my words here because I'm still upset seeing our scores at the bottom. We got 4-5, 4-5, 3-6. Boys, we got to get back in the green. Nick Roush, why don't you lead us off?
Well, first off, I would like to issue a big old suck it to Gus Malzahn for really ruining my weekend. I was, I like to play more than 3, but man, I did well everywhere except for that old stupid Gus buzz. Get the hell off that Gus buzz, stupid Gus Malzahn. Otherwise, a great weekend in Gainesville to watch the Wildcats win, and I'm going to keep on having a great weekend by riding that Iowa under train. The Iowa offense is as bad as it gets. They've been just historically laughable over the last, 5 or 6 games. Their incompetence does not accurately describe what Iowa's offense is. They can't do anything, anywhere, at any time. Even against a very bad Nevada team, Jay Norvell, he ain't walking through that door. He's at Colorado State now. Last week they lost to a team called UIW. I had to look that up. That's the abbreviation for incarnate word. Okay, Nevada is trash. They're garbage. They're only averaging 3 yards a carry, 6 yards per attempt. That offense isn't going to do anything against at least a stout Iowa defense. Iowa is not going to score 39. Like, come on, this could be 20, and I would play it.
Tell us how you really feel, Nick Roush. Tell us how you really feel about the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Are you just going to ride that all season long? It's a pretty safe play to date.
I'm going to even rep the Hawkeyes today with my Citrus Bowl hat. I'd like to think that Kentucky played a significant role in the Hawkeyes' downfall. So, sorry, not sorry, Iowa City.
Did I see one of those new On 3 shirts too? Let's go ahead and pop that off for the brand.
I haven't done my laundry from Florida thanks to On 3. I'm swagged out from the head to my toe. Man, excited for week 3, but like you said, this is a difficult board. Luckett, have you found the secret sauce to winning in week 3?
I think I have, and I'm riding some trends this week, boys. First one, going to Bloomington. Big Ten nooner, but we're not back in the Big Ten team. Western Kentucky catching 6.5 there against the Indiana Hoosiers. Indiana, very, very, very fortunate to be 2-0 right now. Illinois was the better team Friday night, week 1. They got very lucky to win that. They were losing to Idaho at half last week. Connor Bazelak has had 2 inefficient passing games. WKU's rolling into town off a bye. 2-0 start there for the Tops. Tyson Helton has been great in this spot. 8-4 against the spread as a road underdog the last 3 years with 5. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight up wins. 1 at Arkansas 2 years ago. Give me the Tops as a road dog this week off the bye. I think if these teams played on a neutral field, the line should be close to a pick 'em. So you're getting 6.5 in an environment that's not all that tough. So give me the Toppers on the road. I think they got a great chance to go in there and get the straight up victory.
I will say I do worry about their quarterback. He's no Bailey Zappi. He's no Brandon Dowdy. He's no Mike White. But it's Indiana, another team that they've really screwed me this year. Can't stand those Hoosiers.
Luckett's making my job easy as producer. I'm just going to leave that graphic up because I also am on the Toppers at plus 6.5. Fully healthy. Don't have anyone out this week. Got depth. Got the experience. Like Nick Roush said, the quarterback play is down just a bit, but I think they've got enough to hang with Indiana. They won't win, but they'll keep it close and cover. So go Tops, go for my first pick.
For my second pick, I'm going to go to a team that did really rip my heart out in week 1, but the team they're playing, I think, is not only mildly but wildly overrated after beating up a bad Louisville team in week 1. Syracuse is playing host to Purdue, and the Boilermakers are slight underdogs. You know what? I'm feeling so confident. I'm taking an alt line on this one. I'm going to take the Boilers -2. I don't care because this is here's where we stand right now. Not only does Purdue have more offensive firepower than Louisville, they're not going to be thrown out of a wrench by Garrett freaking Schrader. All right, they can keep that guy contained. And here's another thing you got to factor in here too. Jeff Brom, a lot of people want him to be back at Louisville. Wouldn't it sting a little bit more for Scott Satterfield if the team he lost to by 20 just got beat by Jeff Brom's team by 20?
Ooh, I see where you're going with that. They'll move him there the next week.
Well, he's still got his house. It's going to be an easy transition.
Scoop.
Yeah.
Luckett, what's your second pick of the weekend?
I'm riding with Roush here. I fear that this is a pros versus Joes game, and I'm on the Joe side because this line doesn't make much sense to me. But again, the trend here, Jeff Brom's been one of the best road underdogs in the sport. 10-3-1, 7 straight up victories the last 5 years for the Boilermakers. The big matchup in this is Syracuse's 3-3-5 defense is kind of a pain in the rear to deal with, but it's a real pain in the run game. Purdue doesn't run the ball. They're going to go in there and throw it a bunch of times in the dome. I like Purdue here in this spot. It's an important game, I think, for Purdue not to fall in a 1-2 hole early before Big Ten or before they get into the meat and potatoes of their Big Ten schedule. I think Aiden O'Connell goes in there and has a big game. They win a nail biter. I think it's a pretty close game, but I'm taking the points all day here with Purdue. It's just too good to pass up the points. I think it's gotten too far on that side. So give me the points with the Boilers and Brom. Anytime he's a road dog, he's near auto play for me just because he's been so good in the past.
I'm going to stick with the road theme here. I think I have 3 road picks here, and I'm going to go to Nebraska, where they absolutely suck and have a coach who's never coached this level before. Oklahoma is going to go in there and light up the scoreboard. Nebraska, known for playing teams close and losing at the end, they're done even playing close anymore. This is going to be a bloodbath. Nebraska's been dead since the 90s. They're even deader right now. Sooners are going to have a big day. I haven't seen the over on that, but I would love a team total of Oklahoma too. I just think Oklahoma is going to light them up. I don't even know if fans will show up anymore. We're going to see why Mark Stoops isn't even going to consider that job, as he's the third man on the betting board as the one to replace Scott Frost. But we'll see on Saturday. Nebraska's got nothing left, and Oklahoma wins big.
I always worried about the coach getting fired bump, right?
Yeah. First couple games, right.
You like just to like thank God we got rid of this guy. Now we're actually going to play some real football. That's the only reason. Like I wish they kept Scott Frost for one more week just so I could smash that button and hammer Oklahoma. But the coach firing, winning one for the new guy, it always gets me a little bit worried, Drew.
Not when he's the new guy. They're dead. They're so dead.
Well, you know who might be dead on arrival if this happens? That's Mississippi State. They're traveling down to the Bayou. I'm a little worried because LSU is rarely a home dog in Death Valley. I don't know, Luckett, you might be able to go far enough back to find out, but it's rare.
Yeah, it's happened a little more thanks to Ed Orgeron here lately, but yeah. Specifically here, though, they're the dog. Like, they're dogs to Alabama, right? Georgia, the better teams.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically here, dogs to a team they have a clear, on paper, talent advantage over. It's something that doesn't happen very often.
But I think right now Mike Leach just has a better team. I believe they're either the second or third best team in the SEC West behind Arkansas. And not only do they have a defense that will give LSU a lot of fits as they struggle to figure out what they're doing with quarterback. Like Jane Daniels, he's nothing to be afraid of. I think they're going to get after LSU. And Mississippi State's offense, they've been clicking against bad teams so far this year, but they've got momentum. They have that sort of confidence that LSU does not have. I just think Mississippi State's a better team. I don't care what the environment is. I've got to take the Bulldogs in this spot.
Last time they were there, they absolutely housed them. They're 2 years ago in 2020, and they should have beat them last year. That was a pretty fluky win for LSU. Big moment for Brian Kelly. Can't fall for 1 and 2. But for my third pick, I'm getting on this Gus bus.
No.
I just think this is a great. You got to know when to bet, Gus. You got to know when to bet, Gus. This is
never. You
don't
never bet him.
Don't lay points in a big spot. Lay points in a motivation spot. Here, they're going on the road, Florida Atlantic. They had to be very, very disappointed. They lost the game because of how he managed, like game management. So they're going to be pretty motivated, I think, this week. Playing a Florida Atlantic team, they have a severe talent advantage over. It seems like they're going to be able to run the ball at will. I think that you'll see an extra commitment to the run. 8-9-man boxes or not. I expect in the last two meetings here, UCF has absolutely housed FAU, both in Orlando and Boca. They're in Boca this time, but I'm going to lay the points with the Knights on the road. They bounce back strong here. An easy cover, double digits. I can see 3-4 touchdown win here for UCF.
I just can't believe you're doing this, Luckett, to yourself. Like, this is self-emulation. You know that, right?
Well, I'm posted up at Roosters. I'm just going to be chilling watching UCF run it up. You just get ready.
I'm going to stick with the theme of cheering for the away locker room, this time down in South Carolina, where there's not enough sandstorm in the world to stop what Georgia is going to do to them. South Carolina and Arkansas lost their middle linebacker and their edge as if they needed to lose anything else on defense going in that Georgia game. Stetson Bennett is throwing to robots as tight ends. Georgia's going to score at will, and I don't think South Carolina is going to score much at all. 24.5 is a lot of points on the road in the SEC, but I don't care. Break those sunglasses in half. Georgia's going to win by 1 million.
Are we all on road teams here?
I think I did three. I did 3 roads.
I'm on 3 too. Nick, you have Purdue, and what else was your other one?
Mississippi State. So we're on the road team. I also love South Carolina under 14.5 as their team total. Like, do you think they're scoring 3 times against that Georgia defense? No, not happening. Not happening.
What? I thought Spencer Rattler was going to win the Heisman. He just had to get to a new school and get a fresh start. He's got more interceptions and touchdowns right now. Where's that Heisman talk going on?
Nick, does your Vanderbilt season win total over cash on Saturday?
Oh, I want it so bad, and it's so much that I'm tempted to. Like, I shouldn't double down.
Yeah,
but I hate hedging bets. It's such chicken crap, Like, I just play to win. They're on the road at Northern Illinois, rare SEC at MAC game, but we get to scout two Kentucky opponents in one game, so I'll be having a close eye there to see if my Vandy win total ticket hits this weekend.
I'm going to pull a Roush and throw in one more because it was a tough loss for me last week on the Alabama over. Obviously a low-scoring game. Texas played them way too close. Ended up being a thrilling game. But I got to make that money back by going back to Old Faithful, Alabama first quarter. Last year, I think it hit at like 10 out of 12 times in the regular season. It's the freest money in all of sports, and I think we tapped back into it after they had a low-scoring affair last week. Bryce Young's going to run it up early. Alabama minus 12.5. I think it's at like minus 125 odds, but free money is free money, so I'm going to jump on that.
There you go.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Lucky, did you bring any additional wagers to
the board is so weird this week. So I don't have any like real favorites or real super underdogs, but I will say this, like Ole Miss is minus 16.5. They're either going to win by 30 or lose that game. Like, it feels like no in between, right? At Georgia Tech. I'm probably going to have them in my 6-pack this week, but I mean, the power ratings are real big on Ole Miss, but we haven't seen them at all. I don't think Georgia Tech's any good, but it's first road game. Who knows? So that is one I could see that going 1,000 different directions.
Another money line sprinkle. The Kansas one worked
Kansas
out
hit
well.
last week. It hit last week. The board is just, it's just not great this week. There's not a lot out there. It's a lot of unknowns versus unknowns. So we're just going to have to see how that all shakes out.
So it's a
challenging week.
Florida State Louisville under is tasty Thursday. I think it's 57.5. Right around a 2-point spread. So that you're looking at 30 to 27 and it's a cash.
It's definitely a challenging board this week.
I can see that Louisville offense we've seen score 30 points. And Florida State, I don't think it's a juggernaut on offense. So
I almost took Louisville as one of my 3, but then I realized I think every time I bet on Louisville, whether it's against them or for them, I'm wrong. So I'm done using any money with them at all. had Central Florida last week, had them against Syracuse the week before. I'm just done with Louisville. But if you want to bet on Louisvile, you can go to, or against Louisville, you can go to MyBookie. Again, punch in promo code KSR to double dip on that deposit. We said this was a challenging week, but that's when we thrive. We like an uphill battle, and I think the three of us are going to bounce back and be in the green, make all our viewers a little bit of money. As always, thanks for being here on the KSR YouTube channel. If you haven't hit subscribe by now, I don't know what you're doing. You're obviously here. Just go hit the button. And we'll see you next week on the Pick 3, hopefully with money in our pockets.